Hi, it's me again, Alexandra, here with Richard. Hello, Richard.
Hello again.
Yes, Richard and I are being alive now as business partners as much as in music, LuckyMantraMusic. And we're here to talk about essential questions in life, like moving forward in a good way. So today, what we want to talk about is how do you manifest your dreams? How do you do the first steps from dreams to reality?
Yeah, I think this is for the people who want to even look at this, a very important question. And of course, you will experience something, at least that's my experience. You will see where are the boundaries from where you want to be and where you are now. So it's not like, okay, this is going to be a completely smooth ride. Maybe it is. Sometimes it can be, sometimes it isn't. But I think it's important to deal with what is and not with what you think it should be. That the journey is what the journey is for you. So nobody can tell you, it's an easy journey, it's a difficult journey. Deal with what's on the way.
Mm. And I think I can speak for myself and maybe other people that when we come to a point where we dare to dream or to remember what we dreamed of and that has not yet manifested, it's really difficult. I mean, let's say, we're talking about you have an average earning and then, you dream of becoming a millionaire and then what kind of you think that, I myself think that's insane. How do I get from this income to a million? And that's what you just talked about. In one sense, I have to be where I am, and on the other end, I have the goal, the dream. So I thought, well, we're going to talk about how do we step out of that point of having a bigger dream to really do a first step.
Yeah, and one part of it that's important for me is the question, why do you want to be a millionaire? And I think nobody is a millionaire. Some people have millions, but I know that or you know that I'm very picky on this term identity, what this means.
Mm,
So if somebody builds a huge identity around having a lot of money and then loses the money, what is the person? What is left of the person? And this is the falling away of an identity for somebody, or somebody has the identity, on the other hand, that he or she is very poor. That's also an identity,
mm.
but it's not the truth about a human. So for me, the question is, why do you want to have millions of dollars, euros, whatever it is? And from there starts to evolve basically from where you are.
So are we questioning the dream so it can become reality? Is that what you're offering?
I would always question the dream because some dreams are just from a very egotistic place inside of yourself, and other dreams are, oh, this is something that needs to happen for yourself and maybe also the greater good of other people.
But why should I dream then? Because then it sounds really complicated to me.
It
Do you know
always,
what I mean? It's like
yeah.
when I got myself to a place where I admit I want something that seems to be important, I'm trying to find the steps into it, and then I have to trace back and say like, but listen, why would you like to be a millionaire, for example? Then it becomes really difficult and it kind of feels like I'm stopping in my motion forwards.
The joke about this thing is, I think if you reach certain goals, then you might see that they are actually not what you were looking for or searching for.
Okay.
So I can give you an example. also on the spiritual path, that's the example I'm gonna take now. On the spiritual
Mm.
path, first one thinks, okay, I'm gonna be much more enlightened, and then I'm gonna merge with the divine, and everything is great, and I'm gonna be the greatest whatever, yeah. And then on the journey, you see, oh, this is not the spiritual path. The spiritual path is that there is less and less of the I in this process, and the I doesn't really get something out of it. But in the beginning, you thought, oh, it's just a bigger version, a greater version of myself. So this is, as an example, this is not going to happen. It's the dissolution of the I, basically. But in the beginning of the journey, you thought you wanted, a bigger, better version of yourself as the divine.
Hmm. So it's a little bit like, I had once a client who wanted to learn the splits like Madonna, and that's why she started the yoga classes. And I really had to laugh, at that point in my path, because she didn't know what was ahead of her. But somewhere we have to start with where we're at. That's what you said before, So how much do we have to question what we do, with what motivation to do the first step, just to come back to that?
Yeah, let's come back maybe to a business setting. Yeah.
Okay.
Then it's if you have trustworthy people around you and people you value in basically exchanging ideas, it's always a good idea to talk to them and
Hmm.
see, what do you think about this? And ideally, this should be people, I mean, they have to know something about the subject. It's not, you cannot ask everyone for advice for everything. This is not a good idea.
Of course.
So trustworthy people, then you share the idea with them, and then you make the reality check and see, okay, how can I start building? And the first step is, it's always a step and step and step and jump sometimes journey. Uh, so you start with the first step and see, okay, where do you want to get to over time?
Hmm. Hmm.
Also, more from a mind level, you can divide it in, okay, the short term, the middle term, and the long term goals. So short term is everything from, I don't know, a few weeks to a few months. Then the middle term is a few years, and the long term is maybe 10 plus years.
Hmm.
And you can also write this down. What do you want to achieve, and how does it look like? But what is for sure is that it's not going to be exactly how you like drew it out on the paper. This is just life is not working like that.
Yeah, it means just to find ways of moving forward. And then, as you say, what is, and what becomes. And that's partly why we put it out here in the spiritual scene, because it's not, our dreams are our dreams, and how they're going to be put in motion and be realized is very much up to the divine. So that's an aspect a lot of people, so to say, overlook. It was what you referred to earlier, in a way, to say, I want to become enlightened. I want to become content and peaceful and be super centered. And how the spiritual involvement into dissolving the I question becomes for you is definitely not up to ourselves. That's what I'm hearing us kind of talk about in this conversation, right?
Something like this, yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Something like it. Yeah. Okay, there are finer details to that, I know. So, but just to mark an end again to this input and into this query into how do your dreams become reality, do you want to sum it up for the listener here?
Yeah, the practical steps are you can from your mind, the first step into manifestation is basically to write it down, because then it's one level deeper into physical reality. Yeah, you write the steps down. You can make a plan of short term, like weeks until a few months, middle term, a few years, and long term. So it's like 10 plus years. And then you can start from there and do the first step. Maybe you think about the name of your company or whatever you want to bring into the world, and write this down. And then you're basically in the game.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for another sweet conversation here
Thank you
on
too.
Being Alive Now. And we see each other soon.
See you.